Hey everyone, and of course, welcome to the next edition of Forum Bites. In this episode, not only have we passed 450 subscribers, we're also going to be interviewing Keith Fiscus from EO Orange County. We're going to be talking about the stir-fry process and how his chapter has used it to make moving forums a little easier. Keith, how are you, mate?
I'm doing great, Rod. How about you doing?
Oh, pretty good. Pretty early morning behind me, just so you know, we're obviously on the opposite sides of the planet here, mate. But thank you very much for being able to do this very, very quick rundown of the stir-fry program for people moving forums to make the process easier. But, mate, how about, I know you, of course, but how about you give everyone a quick rundown of who you are, where you are, and, of course, what you've done?
Absolutely. Keith Fiscus out of EO Orange County, California. I'm just coming off the Western Region Forum Expert role as well as the Forum Chair role for 2 years. So now I'm just here waiting for my next mission.
And boy, it sounds like a normal EO journey where they go do as much as you can to get as much back. Now, tell me, mate, of course, we're here to talk about the stir-fry program, which helps people move between forums to make that process a bit easier. And I believe you were part of, or your actual predecessor set this program up in your chapter. Is that right?
Correct. Yep. My predecessor set that up a couple years ago.
Okay, can you explain to me then what the process is? Because obviously it's called stir-fry, a mix-up for a reason. So what's the basic process of it?
So basically we found that, and it's probably pretty common, that after several years in the same forum, it becomes a little stale, a little stagnant, right? So you get to the point where you already have a good idea what your forum mates are going to say or what their responses are going to be. So, we really wanted to mitigate losing great members because they're stale, because their forum experience is stale. So the objective was to do a stir-fry, mix it up. We had set certain criteria as far as how long we wanted you to be in the chapter. We don't want to place someone in 90 days, got to place them again in another 90. So we had a minimum criteria threshold. And we really started to bridge the gap and get rid of that taboo of leaving your forum, right? Because you build a lot of relationships, a lot of things have been shared. All of that is confidential. It stays with you, but sometimes feelings get hurt if someone leaves, and we really wanted to work through that process and just make it kind of just a natural part of evolution, so to speak.
And with that process, mate, with the actual stir-fry, what do you do it once a year, whenever anyone needs it, or how often do you do it?
Sure. We do it once a year. We did it, we skipped a year last year. We did it again this year, but I think it's really good if you offer it every year, because maybe last year somebody was good to go, but now this year they're not, right? So why make them wait another year? The first year we rolled it out, I think we rolled it out around May, just before renewals, and so you could kickstart your new forum. This year we decided that, let's roll it out earlier, because if someone's not having a good forum experience, let's roll it out after the new year. For example, January, February. That way we could align that with the JOJA, the April integration and new member placements, and they'd have a good quarter to get reintegrated into their new forum with possibly new members as well, as far as brand new EO members.
I suppose that makes sense, mate, because then not only are you having members moving forums and then hopefully getting a much better forum experience, and they get that under their belt before they're making a decision about renewals instead of right on renewals, plus also you're tying it into JOJA, which is great because you've got new members coming in, making the forum chair's job actually even easier, which makes a lot of sense. So you're saying that the best time to do is usually on the same time each year, whatever time of period you use. Do you do it the same time?
Yeah, we haven't really worked out a specific cadence, but I think that's the best way to go. After this year's experience, I think that's the best way to go about it, to offer it, get through December. And then we started our communication, and that was the most critical. The first time we did it, we met with all the forums and really explained the process.
Yep.
Just because we were rolling it out. And then we started slowly rolling out the communication through the communications chair. Then we started posting on Facebook just to kind of get everyone familiar of what that was, and then make the process kind of so it wasn't so foreign. And then we made sure that we had whoever was responsible, or excuse me, not responsible, whoever was interested, have them reach out to the forum chair and just kind of express their interest in participating in the stir fry. But then we always made sure that they had that conversation with their forum, obviously, prior to.
So that's a really good point that I've taken from that, mate, definitely, which is communication early and often about the process, about how it's going to be done. They need to contact their forum chair to make sure that, that the forum chair knows they want to be part of the stir fry program, and they have to have spoken to their moderator. The last thing you want them to do is just to run out the door and no one knows where they're going. So, mate, but there must be some criteria that you follow. Look, obviously I had down there some criteria that you had just concerning, like, of course, you don't want to place someone and then in 90 days have them want to move forums. So what other criteria have you got that a member must meet to be part of the Stir Fry program?
Well, the first year we did 3 years. And then after kind of rethinking that, we really don't want to put a cap on that because, if someone's been in for a year or 2 years and they're not happy, at the end of the day, they're not happy. And so as a forum chair, it was my responsibility to do whatever I could to make sure that there was healthy forums, do my best to make sure that everyone was happy. So then when we rolled it out this year, we decided at least 1 year in forum. If you've been in forum, because obviously you get in a new forum, it takes a while to kind of get your legs underneath you and then you got 6 months. But after a year, you probably pretty much have a good cadence. You kind of know if it's clicking and if it's not. If it's not working after a year, then whatever we can do to help transition you through the stir fry process, that was kind of our minimum threshold.
Mate, I like that idea of having them at least a minimum there for a year, because I know that usually it took me personally to click with my forum about 6 meetings. And I've still been with, as you know, the same forum for nearly 13 years now. So if I just pulled out early, I would have missed all the benefits, which makes sense, which is good. Exactly. Now, when it comes down to the other items that you have to warn them about, or is there any other items? Because obviously they aren't going to choose where they're going to go in their forum, are they? It's not like a stir fry where they sit down and say, I want to go to that forum or something, is it? Or is it random?
No, it's random to an extent, right? So the way we look at it is if you're a current member and have been a member, you probably know a good portion of the membership. So if you're if you're building relationships outside of that and you're already having conversations with other forums, let us know. At the end of the day, it's going to be our job as a forum chair to get you placed. We want you to be happy, but it's also about chapter health as well. So, but if we can facilitate that relationship or that transition, then we're going to facilitate that. But I never stopped any of the members talking with other forums and just kind of getting a feel for, But most of the time we try to make it fair and random.
So in other words, you're making sure that the forum chair, I'm assuming, is the final decision. But of course, obviously, that forum chair is taking into consideration many items like everything to make sure the forum placement is a positive one from the point of view of who they know, but also there'd be the typical, there can't be any conflicts, there can't be any of those type of things. But it's really just the mediator of the process, not necessarily I'm going to make a decision based on what I think and not based on what anyone else thinks, which makes sense, mate. Placing people in forums with people they don't know is an extreme, as you know, mate, and I know, is an extremely difficult situation. Now, when it comes down to, let's say that there's an actual moderator out there right now and they've got someone in their forum that wants to move and they haven't got a process in the chapter. Stir fry is not in place. The chapter may be building something different or hasn't looked at it. What would you recommend that moderator does?
I'd have the moderator reach out to the forum chair and start that conversation with the forum chair and see if there's a process in place. If not, then maybe kind of, they can discuss the stir fry process or present the process. Because if there's one member who's not happy, I guarantee there's probably 2 or 3 others who aren't happy. They just don't know what to do with it, to do with them or do about it. And unfortunately, if you wait too long, next thing you know, like you said, you're losing great members.
Yeah.
That potentially could have been saved if they just knew that there was an opportunity for them to mix it up a bit.
Yep. Now, I believe this whole process is actually on Same Page, isn't it?
It should be, yeah. Yep.
That's what I'll do, man. Is I'll have a look and I'll make sure it's there for the forum chairs, just in case, as well as the moderators. I'll find out where it actually is. But it's something which I do agree, mate. It's something which they need to be talking about, even if it's only in their forum. At least it's a beginning, because then at least they can make sure that the good members don't leave EO just because they're not talking about it, which is really good. Well, thank you very much for all the information, mate. That's going to make it a lot easier for some of these members to be able to move. And as always, everyone, I'll of course leave Keith's details below if you want to get in contact with him further. I will of course leave the links to Same Page when I obviously find them for the Stir Fry to make it easier. But as always, thanks for watching, and we'll all see you in the next episode coming soon.
Thanks, Rod.
I did want to send a very big thank you out to Keith again for being part of this process. Now, as I said in the interview, I'll make sure this information is actually on Same Page for you. But of course, you can get in contact with your chapter managers, your presidents, to find out more information there. But as always, if anyone's got any questions, please leave them in the comment section. If you haven't subscribed already, I hope you know what to do. Just hit that subscribe button now. And as always, I'll see you in the next episode.